Welcome everybody to W.A.R. We are resilient. We are slowly populating among the various social media that we are live on tonight. And tonight, before we start anything with our guests, we will introduce after this video. We have a intro video that will just be a quick minute. So hopefully you guys enjoy. We will all be muted while this plays.
Hell yeah.
All right. And we've got our guest this week from Texas joining us, Dustin. All right, I'm going to mess this up, even though you just said Shumperlik. All right.
Yep.
Claymine Production, claymindproduction.com. He works with Project Heroes First is how we got linked up here. And Jeremy Daniels checking in saying present chat.
Jeremy, good evening.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good, man. So you were just telling us before in the green room that fresh out, making your name for yourself now. Can you give a quick rundown of what Clear Productions is?
Yeah.
Clear Mind.
More or less just got out. It's been about, I think it's been a year and a half now. As soon as I got out, I moved back home to Texas. Originally from San Antonio, but wanted to be a little bit, have a new city in mind. And Austin seemed like a cool place. Everybody's moving there. Younger crowd, fitness world is amazing, which is mainly what I work with. Really am trying to, kind of make a name for myself, do something impactful and something that I take a lot of pride in, just like I did being a corpsman in the Navy. And I mainly want to work with fitness, like I said, but it's more about telling impactful stories, such as, of course, the veteran community is that's like one of my top priorities. It's just I'm so new to the game, coming from pretty much doing emergency medicine my entire life since like high school, switching it over to something completely creative and being a businessman. I'm sort of just like learning, trial by fire, learning as I go. So trying to appeal to a bigger mass audience. And like I said, Austin has an incredible health and fitness community out here. And then being in Texas, close to San Antonio and Austin, you have a huge veteran community as well. So I feel like I'm in the right spot to really give like a good go at trying to not just make a successful business and everything, but do something that is really helping others tell their story, spread awareness to business people or just brands that are trying to really like make a difference in this world in the realm of health and fitness. That's kind of where I want to stay. I have a lot of passion and pride behind, just health and wellness in general. And I didn't want to give all of that up and go completely away from that. But yeah, so here we are. Hope that was good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what made you go into photography and videography? Like, what was like was it something in service that you started doing, or was it a passion that you had like before joining?
Yeah, exactly. I man, I so I was a Greenside Corpsman. Was with the First Marine Division, combat engineer battalion, and I was stationed over in Oceanside, California, which I mean was just too beautiful to pass up. And like every chance I could get out of the barracks, I took it to. I tried surfing, was not good at it, but there's a couple other hobbies I tried to get into, and just to just keep my mind right, stay right up here. Um, and I can actually go deeper into that because I come from a family of military, so I was I kept my mindset was like my top priority during while I was in trying to be like an effective corpsman, not just be one of those guys who's just clocking in, clocking out. But anyway, I ended up borrowing a camera from one of my buddies, another corpsman I worked with, and he I mean, he just let me have it pretty much for like a couple months, and I fell in love with it. I got really good feedback from it. There was this like awakening, like this creative fire that sort of just like, you know, awakened in me. And for the longest time since I was like, I want to say like 16, maybe 17, I was always dead set on emergency medicine because I was pretty much like, the big, I want to make an impact on the world. Best way to do that is to go out there and, try to save lives. And I was a EMT in high school. I attempted to go to school to be an ER nurse, and which led to me joining the Navy. And It's a funny story how I got into being a corpsman, but it all worked out, and I I really wanted to like tie together this new passion for photography and videography, just telling stories, and my love for just like health and wellness, like spiritual
You just kind of
enlightenment.
merge the two together.
Yeah, and just like try to be a part of the community that's trying to continue to help others, and like sort of take what I was doing in the military and just like emergency medicine and just like figure out a way where I can still kind of be tied to that impact that you have on people.
Let's go back here a little bit, Dustin.
Yeah.
I served in the Marine Corps, and I've had a couple corpsmen tell me that the key to long life and health is truly three basic things. Clean socks. Number one, clean socks. Number two,
Absolutely.
having a fresh container of a Motrin 1,000 milligram strength. No matter where you go, in your car, in your bathroom, on your motorcycle, always carry an extra pair of socks and 1,000 milligrams of Motrin. And then the third thing is a minimum of a gallon of water a day. If you have and do all three of those things, you're probably going to, beat the Reaper for a little while longer. Is there any truth to that, or is that just stuff they tell Marines to keep us out of their hair?
I honestly, I think all that stuff is like that simple stuff right there is like, it's what keeps you alive, because when there's so much to think about and question and worry about, I mean, like we all do it. I can speak for myself, but when you're worried about the worst case scenario, or you don't know the mission, like just you got this mental fog going. That's when you rely on your corpsmen, your other buddies to help you just keep it simple and just stay focused, take one step forward. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the overall like message when with that kind of advice. But yeah, it's all about mindset. I've learned, I feel like I've learned, I guess I'll throw it out there right now. Like, so my dad was also a corpsman too, and he retired as a chief. And I honestly didn't know anything about what he did, what the Navy was, nothing growing up. He ended up working at the Capitol for like, God, I think like it was over 7 years. He ended up retiring out of there. I still didn't know what he did. I met Navy SEALs. I was like just some dumb metalhead kid, and but I still had this like fire to do something bigger than myself. Little did I know my dad was, out here like just absolutely killing it, and he was a like a pillar, just because he was there, but also because he was like a more than exceptional sailor and corpsman and leader. And one of the things that he passed down to me was like this whole mindset thing. Like you have to make the best out of every situation. You have to when it comes to your Marines, you can't get too close to your Marines to the point where it'll make you, I've seen guys that develop like drinking problems and like just like get some crazy anxiety, or and when guys do pass away, suicide, or or from combat, like it changes you completely. And like the little things like that he taught me from an early age, to just keep it simple, keep this right, do little things here and there to make that possible. And then when I joined the Navy, I picked up on that. Like I built on top of that, because that's what they teach you. I mean, folding your socks and shit you learn in boot camp is just like, oh, that now I know why my dad was like this. Now I know why he got on my ass about making my bed and stuff like that. And there's, as I when I got into the when I'm around Marines, because I honestly barely served in the actual Navy, but when I was around the Marine Corps, like I just had this whole new sense of like how to get things done, how to rationalize stuff, how to like overcome bigger obstacles that are way bigger than yourself. But it takes those little tidbits that you get from your corpsman, your gunny, whoever you look up to, whoever's your leader. They say some shit that it sticks with you forever. I got tons of little sayings like with changing your socks and the Motrin and stuff. Like I tried to apply that to the rest of my life.
So one thing I kind of want to pick your brain about, if I can, and Mike, if you got a question, just stop me here. A lot of us veterans get out, and you're not having to run 3 times a week. We're not burning 10, 15,000 calories a day. Or I don't want to speak for Mike here. Like in my case, I got hurt, and it's hard to maintain that good physical shape and condition. You realize your body is just not going to allow you to do certain things anymore. I know you just started in this effort you're doing, but I just wondered, for a lot of us guys out there who are dealing with, the miles, not the years, Dustin, which how do you deal with that? Because people look at us sometimes and think we're just nasty fat bags, when the reality is, it doesn't matter how much I diet or calorie deficit, I just can't move like I did 10, 15, 20 years ago.
I love that question. I've noticed that it's a lot about community. It's a lot about the people that you're around, because even just I'll go back to trying to learn how to surf, which didn't end well for me, but I kept going because some of my buddies were just like, after work, they're like, hey, let's just go surfing. It's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road, and I wasn't really liking it at that point. Like I tried going myself, and I I knew it was a great workout. I knew like all, it's great for a lot of things, but I was just like, this might be a little bit too challenging for me. I might not like it. It's not what I thought it was. But there was like that sense of community in just the littlest things, and you can really gain a lot from people who are like-minded. And that's kind of what I'm searching for as I've been transitioning out, is like-minded people. And because not everybody's at the same level as you as far as your fitness, your ability to exercise, or just your, like, some people have some pretty heavy limitations, so like I think finding your like-minded people, your community, is probably the most important thing, because without that, I know from experience, and I know other people, like, that can really bring you down. That can really, all that negative crap that you tell yourself about, I used to be able to do this, or like, shit, now I'm getting, I can start seeing in the mirror, I'm getting a little fat, a little pudgy, whatever you start, saying to yourself, that shit eats you up over time, and it builds on itself. And if, especially if you don't have the tools to change that, or, the resources. Granted, I feel like a resource is like a community, your buddies, your community, it's your environment and stuff. So, I think the most important thing is finding like-minded people when it comes to that.
And that's definitely one thing that like, the VA has been, doing a better job of, is not just, looking at your health and saying, this is your physical health, this is your mental health, this is it. They're doing the whole health approach, and they're using things, having, what your social impact does to your physical and your mental well-being, and what what spiritual does to social and physical. It doesn't have to be a religion. It doesn't have to be that. Even the guys that I'm sure that you surfed with, consider that their religion for some of them out there.
Yeah, it's all just about connecting, and like, just finding people who can relate or resonate with how you speak, and how you view yourself, what your goals are. If, like, you fucked up your shoulder, and you can't shoulder press or whatever, like, you want to be around guys who are not going to like make you feel weak, or whatever. Like, you want people that'll build you up, be like, it's really important. I mean, it could be just one person that could change the trajectory, sorry, of your mental and physical health. Just like a coach.
Like when you picked like clear mind, was there like a meaning behind it, or like was there like an impact that like brought you to that?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple different. I love to do things that have multiple meanings. Like with my tattoos, it's the same way. So clear mind, first of all, it's a little bit of a reminder to me, to myself, that most of my achievements in life, and granted, I'm 29. I'm still young. I feel like I'm trying so hard to tell myself I'm still young. About to hit 30 this year, but through the achievements that I've made throughout my life, I've realized that I've done so much better. I've accomplished maybe even more things more frequently when I just stay focused on the task, or keep it simple. With whatever, like, little things I can tell myself, and just like remind myself of. Or it's just for so long throughout my life, since I was a teenager, before like I even had this calling to join the Navy and serve. I was always focused on mindset. I was always focused on like what are the things that I need internally to the drive, like how do you activate that and reach your potential and all that stuff. So a clear mind is, I feel like, the only way to achieve, you know, extraordinary, great things that you're proud of, things that are just, that make your life feel like you know, you're full, I guess. So that's like the personal side of it. But yeah, the clear mind that everybody else sees, and the business side of it, I guess, is I want to portray this image that, when people are working with me, they have a just a sense of, not simplicity in the, like, the level of work that's going into it, but the simplicity of, or the sense of ease that you have working with me, just like I had that relationship with Marines, in the way that they just, like, I earned their trust, and once I earned it, it was just like, like, it doesn't really matter what I say, like, they'll like, we're doing this, like, it's kind of, there's no question about it, you're a subject matter expert, like, what's the mission, let's go, and I kind of want to bring that subject matter expert, and that, like, um that peace of mind that other people had towards me, and be that as a business owner, as a videographer, photographer.
That's awesome. And just a couple admin notes here. Travis did have to step out. He, said in the chat he just, had to bounce real quick. So
No worries.
we are down without Oscar Mike Radio, but he will have his show on still at 8 p.m. Following this. And Jeremy Daniels is checking in and saying, "I'm a rolling skeleton. Hashtag not dead yet." Jeremy Daniels is, one of the folks that checks in with us weekly, and is the key description of somebody that is living that resiliency, and is showing that no matter what's been thrown his way, that he's still out there, and making it known that his fight's not over, and
Oh, yeah.
that's what we like to see. And like that was one of the things a year ago when me and Travis first started talking about war and what it wanted to be. It was just a kind of an idea of just going live on Facebook and seeing what happened. And now, a year later, we've had, I don't think we did a full 52, but, we're pretty close to it. And, I think we had 2 weeks off completely. But, basically every week just been, trying to highlight what's going on in the veteran community so people can know, like, the good things that are in it, the groups that are out there, because, like, for me, like, Hellfish Haven has a lot to do with, like, video games, gathering together, board games, card games, guys just, coming together in, like, a safe, sober environment to have
Yeah.
something. Because, like, I sat through the chairs of, the American Legion. Like, I was a commander of a post down in Foxborough, Mass., little home of the Patriots. I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah.
And they're not very good this, last couple of years, but, at a time they were. And then I went through the chairs, and, like, every time I tried to vote to do something, the trustees would be like, "Nope, this is the way that we've always done it. We're going to keep doing it this way." And we were like, "Nope, we're going to keep doing it this way." And it was just like, slamming my head against the wall trying to get anything done. And then instead of actually, like, working together and, like, growing the post, they decided to shut down the post and sell the building. And it blew my mind that, like, the bar was in the basement, and, like, for the members, and then, like, the upstairs was, like, the floor where they rented out for the hall, and then there was the second floor, like, that was storage, and, like, the Boy Scouts would have, like, meetings up there and things like that. But, like, it was right in the center of town, and it was a staple. I mean, it had been there for quite some time. We were post 93, so it had been founded a while back, and, like, just having these organizations in our communities offers a place for vets to go and to have, even if the reliance on the bar becomes too much often. And we try to, like, push it to that the organization's still there. It's still a place for vets to go and be around other vets, and to find somebody if they need to, in person. And
Yeah.
like that's why Hellfish Haven, we wanted to have a physical location for people to be able to come and exist and be around, and just even if you're just hanging out reading a book, and a couple guys playing chess, and a couple guys playing Mario Kart. It's just that being around one another, hanging out in the day room. I don't know if you guys had that in the Marine Corps Navy, like,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah.
like you just hang out in the day room. You play games, and like even like the 3 tours in Iraq, like you come off mission, you drop your stuff, and guys go up to the room, and they game, and they watch stupid movies, and like it's that unwinding time that like you need, and like that's what like a lot of us lose when we come home, and like especially like men, like the studies keep showing year after year, like men, like as they get older, they don't have friends. They're not, they're isolating. They're by themselves, and like that's a huge problem for like your mental psyche, and like and then once your mental goes, your body, also will deteriorate as well. So it's like you gotta keep both strong in order to get it, and like that's one thing that we've been fortunate about is like the collaborations, working with other organizations, and like having Oscar Mike Radio to work with, and to like kind of mentor me like in this whole like game of like you know doing the live podcast, and doing the video to folks each week, and like having guests come on and share, like whether it's Project New Hope that does retreats, and there's other organizations that have food pantries, there's organizations that do men's veterans, women's veterans, ice hockey, like you got Team Red, White, and Blue doing runnies, you got the Silky Hikes for Reverent Warriors, and it's just there's all these great organizations out there, but it is tough to filter through and to see it all. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's, I want to say last year it was something like 50,000 veteran nonprofits in the US. And like of that, maybe like a quarter of them actually have like a specific mission and focus. So it's like a lot of organizations come out and like want to like be a veteran nonprofit, but all they're doing is collecting money, and then they don't know what to do with it. So it's like it's tough to focus, and we want to highlight the good that the ones that are on mission are connecting folks and doing things together, and like it's just like awesome to see.
Man, yeah, you said a lot of great stuff in there. I actually had some questions about some of that stuff, but
Yeah, definitely feel free to send it over.
Oh yeah. Man, so yeah, like I definitely noticed with how much there is, like you don't even really need to know exactly how much is available to you getting out. You kind of just learn. It's something that everybody talks about, but nobody really knows about, because especially when especially while you're still in, and you're like, no one knows about what life is like outside of it, because they haven't done that yet. Like, how are they going to know it? And granted, I learned about a lot of great like resources that I ended up, I really had to take time to myself to like look into it, do my own research, or explore some of those things, and like see how do I go about being a part of this, or getting this benefit or whatever. But I know that I feel that a lot of people are aware that there's resources available to them, and there's like communities and support groups, and all this great stuff that honestly we all need. And once you're in that slump, I know it's hard to get out, but I think that is part of the work that I want to do in this business, is bridge that gap, or be able to bridge that gap in the way of telling the story, either the brand, or the nonprofit, and connecting that to people, and making people feel like, oh, or like, because maybe somebody might just be scared, or like nervous about doing something like that, or not, because they don't know what to talk about, they're antisocial, whatever, whatever. But making it look like it's more making it look more inviting, and making it look more like it appealed, like, yeah, that's for me, like, I should try that out or whatever. Because I do notice that there's I mean, everybody veteran community, even outside of that, everybody has sort of like a brand now. Everybody's trying to sell either themselves, like their identity, or they're trying to start a business. Everybody needs content nowadays, photo and video, but not everybody really knows how to tell a story, tell their story. Right now, I'm a hypocrite of that because I haven't been telling my story much, but I promise that is on there. That's on the list. And I've been even from the first time I picked up a camera, I've been trying to bridge, build up the confidence to be vulnerable and just do it. Not worry about what people think. But man, when it comes to helping other people out, I'm like, I'm there. I'm coming up with all the ideas, and I've been changing. I feel like changing people's perspective, like helping their confidence level, helping them like realize that like either it's not that hard, or just I've had some people just be like completely like, oh my god, like I didn't even like see it that way. Bring that creative aspect to things, and people are just like I don't have a creative bone in my body or whatever, and that you do something like that, and they're just like super appreciative. But anyway, I was just saying like that's part of the work I think I want to do is helping make those connections, because just as important as it is to be in a career that is directly affecting people and impacting people, social work, emergency medicine, like type of thing, it's also very impactful for brands like Black Rifle Coffee or something like that. To they've made a name for themselves, and people trust them, and they identify with them. So I think that's just like that's the positive benefit that you get out of that good being in that kind of service field. And I want to help people that are doing that good work. Not really about making viral videos and making a ton of money or whatever. Like I want to be a part of the people who are helping other people, grow or become enlightened, or whatever they need to just live a fulfilling life. Because it is absolutely hard out here, especially for veterans getting out, myself included, transitioning into this crazy world, and like just trying to figure out like what is my purpose, what's my mission, where do I start. You need good people around you, or you need to like believe in something. So I know there's a lot of people out here trying to help people or inspire people to believe in whatever their service they're offering, or community they're trying to form.
Absolutely. And welcome back, Travis.
Yeah, I can't be three places at one time, so appreciate it, guys.
No problem. Just while you're gone, we just chatting a little bit about kind of like where Clear Mind came from, the buildup of the nonprofits, and like what W.A.R has gone through over the last year of like just highlighting the different organizations that are around, and how Clear Mind, how he's trying to show the good that's going out there, and how he's working himself up to being able to tell his story too, alongside of the vulnerability that comes with that. Of course, as a podcast host and with over 300 episodes, that that your story was probably one of the first few that you had to get out there in order to to begin your following and to understand people, to establish that rapport with you. And it is such an important thing to be able to tell your story clear and concise. And there are, if you do need any organizations or anything like that to work on, telling your story, I've got some of those too. I can, put you in touch with afterwards. There's a lot of good organizations out there that are doing great things. And, just definitely, happy to have you on here this evening with us to, share yours.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you again. I did have a question about what you were saying about the board that you were on. I was just curious, like what do you think was the issue with why things weren't changing? I mean, was it like as simple as just like, you know, these guys are out of touch, or they is it political? Is it, you know, like it could be anything,
So
I guess, but
for for me, and the problem that I've seen with a lot of the legacy veteran service organizations, whether it be the VFW, the American Legions, the local posts, they become so enamored with their canteen that that becomes their main focus instead of the veterans in the community. And so they're focused on running a business instead of uh, the veterans in their town and having a shelter, a safe place for them to come in and gather. So they kind of get off mission a little bit.
yeah.
And so that's where, I kept trying to like work with this particular group, but it was a lot of guys, just the same way that when the Vietnam veterans came back, the World War II veterans kind of, gave them the shoulder. And, just the same way when, we came home, the Vietnam veterans were out there. They were the first ones on the flight line to shake our hands and welcome us back from Iraq. And like, but then when I got to the post, they were the ones that were telling me, "Oh, you're young, you don't know anything." And it was just like, guys, you guys are doing a great job welcoming us back, but you're not welcoming us into your communities. And like, having us go through the chairs and like starting out as, junior vice commander, then senior vice commander, then I became commander of the post. And then even as the commander, I had my adjutant, I had, the trustees, and it was more like they wanted me to just be a figurehead instead of, allowing us to actually, go out there, make mistakes, make changes, and do things. Like for me, I wanted to move the bar from the basement to the first floor, because in the basement all there was a urinal. Like you guys couldn't even go to the bathroom if they needed job number 2, and like women had no place to go. Like they had to go upstairs into the dark hall, which the lights would be off most of the time, and go upstairs, turn lights on for themselves because the bartender's at the bar and the only one there working. So it's like it didn't make sense as an organization of how it was being run. So it was like I kept trying to bring new things in. Like we brought in like a couple of like Buck Hunter, the shooting game. We brought in a couple of pinball machines, things like that, and like then guys were showing up, trying to beat the other guy's score each week. And then like Saturday mornings, like 3 or 4 guys would come in and they'd just be dropping quarters into the machines like crazy. A couple of the older guys would go and play pinball for an hour at a time, and it's like they were enjoying these new features that we had there, but like they didn't see like that we could do more if we went up to a space that could handle more,
Yeah.
versus when we're down in the basement. And years ago it was they talk about the good old days of the legions and the VFWs when they were 3 deep at the bar, and but that's when there was no drunk driving laws, and people were able to get cocked and go and do whatever they had to do without it changing their life forever. Because now if you get popped drunk driving, that's you're basically brand on the spot. You lost your license and like everything else that it affects you with. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like we want to make sure that these organizations aren't so focused on the drinking and more focused on the duty that they have. And so that's one thing that I've done. Instead of just being a member and bitching about it, I've gone on and I've sat on these organizations. I've been a junior vice at the VFW. I've done I'm the adjutant and treasurer now at the Lowell DAV chapter 25 in Mass, and like we're trying to do different things to be able to revamp these organizations and get more people out there, because a lot of the ways that they were seen and a lot of the stigma that came along with the organization. Oh, it's just it's an old man drinking club, or it's just old this and this. Like we want to change that and show that like these organizations do have family oriented programs. They do have stuff for everybody, men, women, children. Anybody that's served is welcome there, and anybody that's part of that military veteran community is welcome there, be it supporters, caregivers, or family members. Yourself, as you grew up as a military brat, I'm sure you at times felt out of place in places, but we want to make sure that that you're welcome in all those things too. And like when we do like the game nights with Hellfish Haven, like it's always family game, so
Yeah.
it's available for the kids to come and play and enjoy as well.
Oh man, that I absolutely love. The thing I love about veteran businesses is like these kind of stories where you just hear like no one's gonna do it, I'll do it myself, or like like you see a problem, you fix it. Like I think that's badass that we're like that I'm a part of a community of people who are still trying to, like, there's still good work to be done here. Like it's not just like you said, like an old man drinking club or whatever. Like it's not. It's a continuously growing thing, and it'll adapt into different businesses or whatever. Like it'll, we have to educate each other on these these resources, educating people on disability and like what like things that they need for like going forward, like helping their families with with like that those game nights. That reminds me a lot of being a kid. Like I was fortunate enough to see the military in I feel like the last days of it being like more of a well, you just had more coming together, like more like I just remember like barbecues with like people I didn't know, but like my dad, they're like brothers to him. It seemed like they were family. He like playing with kids I didn't know, but like it was awesome. I like actually learned how to play the drums on bass at this music, I don't know, music little studio thing that they had available for dependents and stuff. Like little things like that, man, they go so far in ways you don't even realize. But we need to keep like working on adapting and being there the right way, not like some old way that used to work. Like for other people, for other generations, the military changes, generations change, policies change. Like I think that's badass what you're doing. What y'all are doing.
Well, I think, you're evidence of what we're trying to do. And a lot of people open up nonprofits and want to have, the golf tournament, the run, whatever. But I think people like yourself, and it's kind of hard to show what they're doing, right? They raise money, but where's it going? What problem are they actually trying to solve, and how far they come with it? Whereas this younger generation just says, you know what, I want to do something right now. And I think that's what people are going to respond to, is someone who's like yourself, who's doing something with what they have, like right now.
Yeah.
And then worrying about, trying to create a nonprofit later and asking for money. And it's really interesting, because some people want a nonprofit, but some people want to be able to do what they want to do without being constrained by a nonprofit either. It's a really delicate balancing act, but what I think people get tired of is just the continual hammering for money, 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 money. And I think it's really powerful what you're doing, and you're doing it now.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I am truly, just trying to see, like you said, like do what I can with what I got. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or if it's, if I have to adapt into if it turns into something else, fine. But I think all that matters is the passion behind it, and the goal in mind, and in like helping others, like really trying to make an impact on keeping this community alive and tight, and keeping a high standard on health and wellness. Like it goes across the board with everybody. But go ahead.
Do you have any basic tips that you could share with different with our viewers? So like as far as like when they're whether they're recording a video, or they're they're trying to make a video to promote their product, some little like do's or don't list of like
Sure. Yeah.
things, like lessons learned so far from your experience.
Man, this is the thing that I've had so much imposter syndrome over, because I know I should be making videos on this stuff and like educating people as much as possible, but I keep telling, like, I view myself as like a little E3, you know what I mean? I'm just like who the hell am I, trying to, but no, I definitely have a lot of tips for people that are just like either just starting out. It can definitely be overwhelming with what direction to go, what to focus on, even like gear stuff. But I would say, just a random piece of advice, I guess. Audio is a super important thing, whether you're doing a video, a highlight reel for your business, for Instagram, whatever, or you're doing a podcast, you're doing a live stream. I think that, and even like sound effects and stuff like that, those things are so powerful in telling your story. They like sound design is like something that people don't even figure out until they're a couple steps in, trying to just learn how to operate a camera, how to make a video, whatever. Like, I would say if you're gonna have any kind of voice on social media, whether you're recording from your phone or whatever, invest in some audio, because people are gonna respond to that a lot more than you just like running around with your iPhone all over the place, and you got this like crazy odd like sound that you can barely hear, whatever. Like those are cool for like funny videos, I guess, like those like
And also turn your phone sideways. I hate like the up and down videos, like because you get so much more when you just turn your phone just slightly to record. Like
it's true, but we live in a vertical screen world, and like TikTok is vertical, Instagram is vertical. Like I have to do most of my business now. Let's see if I have a camera. Most of my business now is shooting like this rather than like that, where like I can get way more creative like this, but social media is just like you can't, there are some things that you cannot compete with. You have to either just you are either going to conform to it or need to go in a different direction, and that comes with listening to the market. I've heard from, this is like guidance I've gotten from other way more successful people, but like you can't fight the market. So whatever's trending, whatever people are doing most of, like if you're not about it, then there's probably a different option for you as far as like how you want to get your message across, and just doing something that feels like more organic to you. But
so you're telling me I got to give in and sign up for TikTok?
You might. Yeah, you might. Yeah. honestly, because like think about all the dudes in the barracks right now that are scrolling through they're all scrolling through TikTok, and there's tons of like military memes and shit like that people are eating up. Dude, I had so many ideas even while I was in about starting something that was like more of a resource, like a legitimate resource for other active duty guys, but I was just too scared and like too nervous to do it or whatever. I didn't feel like I had the skills for it. But I would have personally loved somebody giving me like little tips on, or just like just like being a little bit of a light in the darkness, whether it's inspiration or just like, hey, this is something to look forward to when you get out. Like it's not, there's some things are true that are negative, but there's positives to it too. And like you can get ahead if you start now by doing this. And I would say that one thing is filing for disability. Do that before you get out, like the year before you get out. But yeah, like I think being on TikTok, being on whatever social media is like currently the easiest to gain a organic following without paying for ads, which is what I mainly do right now. Is I make advertisement videos for like boutique fitnesses and stuff like that, but which are also powerful and like super effective. But the stuff that you can do for free is just comes from just conforming to whatever trends going on right now. That's TikTok. It's probably going to change You know, Instagram's going to go at some point. Facebook is dead, but you know, it's important to stay on every as many platforms as you can. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just appreciate you coming on and talking with us. It's always great hearing different perspectives, and the cool thing is there's plenty of room in the sandbox playground for everybody, and everybody brings something. So, you know, jump right in and pitch in. So, really great hearing from you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Seriously.
And of course, you know, following this, we've got Oscar Mike Radio coming on around 8 p.m. And what do you got on tonight, Travis?
Tonight, I got on U.S. Marine Corps veteran Johnny Moody, who works for Optimal Bio out of the Carolinas. He's going to talk about how to live an optimized life that is science fact, not science fiction. So, you know, in a way, Dustin, you know, like yourself, he got out, uses GI Bill. He's a nurse practitioner now, and has a really interesting take on, you know, health and wellness and optimization. So I learned a lot.
Hell yeah.
And, you know,
Awesome.
Dustin, you know, anytime, you know, you want to come back on and, you know, check in with us, let us know about any projects that are going on, you know, feel free to hop on, whether it be the chat or you want to jump on video and tell some more of your story. You're always welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We thank everybody out there for, you know, watching W.A.R. We are resilient.
We are W.A.R.
I can't quite do that like Travis does, but, you know, he just hits that like.
You need like a sound button. You need like a burr, 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 like a or like a explosion or something.
I do. I feel like I need that to kick off the intro video. Like I need to record you, Travis, doing that, and then like a sound effect.
I'll get that to you. I'll get that to you this week.
Perfect.
The intro was awesome, by the way. The intro was great.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, folks. We'll see you guys next week, and make sure you guys stay tuned at 8 p.m. for Oscar Mike Radio. Thank you guys for joining us this week.